Hello, and welcome back to the Reflective Psyche. Take a moment and think, have you ever been caught off guard by a woman's emotions? One day she's warm, affectionate, and full of interest, and the next she's distant, quiet, and almost unreachable. What changed? Today, we're uncovering one of the most powerful secrets in female psychology, the two real reasons women fall in love. Not three, not five, just two. And once you understand them, you'll start to see the hidden patterns behind every connection you've ever had. Here's the truth that most men never grasp: women don't fall for who you are, they fall for how you make them feel. Every word, every glance, every subtle action is measured emotionally. She's not consciously analyzing you, her emotions are. She's asking, do I feel safe around him? Do I feel alive, desired, seen? These questions decide everything. Because for women, love isn't a checklist, it's chemistry built on emotional experience. Miss that, and you'll always find yourself chasing validation instead of attraction. The first reason women fall in love is security. And no, it's not just financial security, though stability plays a role. True security is emotional. It's about being a calm, grounded force in a chaotic world. Women are drawn to a man whose presence feels steady. The kind of man who doesn't crumble under pressure, who keeps his composure when life throws storms at him. This kind of strength makes her exhale. It lets her guard down. And that's when emotional attachment begins quietly, deeply, and often before either of you realize it. But here's the nuance: security isn't perfection. It's not about having all the answers or showing off power. It's about consistency. The quiet confidence that says, I can handle what comes. A woman senses that instantly. She feels it in the tone of your voice, the way you respond to conflict, or even in the silence between words. When she feels that safety, she relaxes into her femininity, and love starts to grow. Now, look around. You've probably seen men who don't fit the usual mold, not the richest, not the most handsome, but somehow women are drawn to them. Why? Because they radiate groundedness. They don't chase validation. They don't get thrown off balance when tested. They project stability, and that's intoxicating in a world full of uncertainty. Women don't need a man who controls them. They crave a man who centers them. But understand this: security doesn't mean submission. It's not being her emotional crutch or bending to every demand. That's weakness disguised as love. Real security is about boundaries. It's the ability to care deeply while standing tall. It's loving without losing yourself. When a woman senses that you could walk away rather than tolerate disrespect, her respect for you multiplies. And paradoxically, that's when she feels safest, because she knows your love comes from strength, not need. This emotional steadiness is communicated in micro moments: how you handle her silence, how you respond when she pulls away, how you remain calm when she tests your patience. She notices all of it. Women are wired to read emotional signals faster than men realize. And when your energy stays composed, she knows she can trust your presence. That's when she starts to see you not just as a man, but as her emotional anchor. But now we move to the second reason women fall in love: desire. Because security without desire creates comfort, not passion. That's why so many good men end up as just friends. She respects them, appreciates them, but doesn't crave them. Desire is the spark that turns connection into chemistry. It's the reason she can't stop thinking about you, the reason she smiles when your name lights up her phone, the reason she replays your words at night. So, what creates that spark? Not looks alone, not status or scripted charm. Desire is born from contrast. It's the dance between closeness and mystery, when she feels drawn to your world but can't fully predict it. It's when you show depth layers she can't instantly read. When you have purpose, confidence, and emotional control, She senses she has to earn her place in your life. And that challenge awakens attraction. The men who ignite desire don't chase endlessly or seek constant reassurance. They understand the power of space. They know when to pull back, when to let silence breathe, when to meet her gaze with quiet certainty. They flirt playfully, but never desperately. Their energy says, I want you, but I don't need you. That's the essence of tension, and tension is the birthplace of desire. Desire thrives on a bit of unpredictability, not because you're playing games, but because you're living a life with purpose beyond her. You're not the center of her world. She wants to be part of yours. That's magnetic. It's why women fall for men who have their own rhythm, who inspire curiosity, who carry both confidence and restraint. So here's the balance most men miss: security builds trust, desire builds craving. One without the other is incomplete. Security alone makes you the safe choice, not the passionate one. Desire alone makes you thrilling, but not lasting. When you embody both the grounded protector and the unpredictable spark, you become unforgettable. You're not just another man, you become an experience she can't replace. And that's the secret no one teaches: the emotional blueprint of attraction. When she feels both safety and desire, she doesn't just like you, she bonds with you. She opens her heart, not because you impressed her, but because you moved her. So, as you move through your relationships, remember this: it's not about chasing affection or proving worth. It's about cultivating presence, purpose, and poise. Be the calm in her storm and the fire in her soul. That's when love isn't something you chase, it's something that naturally finds you. When she doesn't fully know how you feel, when she senses you have options, when she feels the challenge of earning your attention, that's when desire begins to grow wild. But here's the paradox most men never understand: the moment you try to make her desire you, you lose it. The very act of chasing, convincing, or proving yourself kills the spark. Why? Because desire can't be demanded, it's evoked. It's triggered when your presence silently communicates that you are a man she could lose, a man who doesn't need her, yet chooses her. That choice, made from strength, not dependency, makes her feel truly alive. Here's where it gets fascinating. Women often confuse themselves when real desire takes hold. They'll rationalize it, argue with it, even deny it, but deep down, they feel it. You've probably seen it before. She says you're not her type, yet she keeps showing up. She claims she doesn't like you, but her actions tell a different story. That's desire bypassing logic and taking root in her emotions. It's raw. It's irrational. It's what draws her back even when she tries to resist. Now, let's expose a truth that makes many men uncomfortable. Security without desire makes you safe, but forgettable. Desire without security makes you exciting, but replaceable. Most men fail because they only master one side. The nice guy builds comfort, but lacks chemistry. He's dependable, kind, always there, but never the spark that consumes her thoughts. He becomes her emotional support, not her emotional obsession. On the other hand, the player ignites passion but offers no stability. She's drawn to him, yes, but she never truly trusts him. He's the man she desires for a moment but fears building a life with. Women want both security and desire. But here's the secret: they don't expect to find both in every man. That's why you often hear phrases like, he's a good guy, or he's exciting, but not the one. What she's really saying is this: he gave me one reason to fall, but not both. Without both, love cannot take root. It may burn bright for a while, but it fades just as fast. Now you might ask, how can you be both the rock and the storm, the protector and the challenge? The answer lies in mastering duality. A woman's deepest emotional attraction awakens when she feels safe in your strength, yet thrilled by your unpredictability. She wants to feel protected, but not smothered. She wants to feel desired, but not possessed. She wants to know you're not going anywhere, but also that you could walk away if she disrespects you. That balance makes her feel something no one else can: admiration, respect, and passion all at once. Here's where most men sabotage themselves. They overgive security, hoping it will earn affection, or they overplay desire, thinking it will keep her hooked. Both backfire. When you provide too much security, she starts to take it for granted. When you focus only on desire, she assumes she can't trust you. The real magic lies in subtle balance, being consistent yet unpredictable, calm yet passionate. Too much stability becomes dull. Too much chaos becomes exhausting. But when you embody both stability and spark, she can't get you out of her head. If you've ever felt like a woman was playing games, here's the truth: she wasn't just playing, she was testing. And these tests aren't random. They're deeply wired into female psychology. Every woman, consciously or unconsciously, will test you to see if you can provide both security and desire. It's not to punish you, it's to trust you. Her heart depends on it. When she pulls away, gets moody, or challenges your confidence, she's not trying to destroy connection. She's testing its foundation. But here's where most men fail. She withdraws and they panic. They chase. They overexplain. They try to fix everything instantly. And in doing so, they destroy both attraction and respect. Because that reaction shows fragility, a lack of emotional control. A man who needs her reassurance to feel whole communicates insecurity, and no matter how kind or giving he is, insecurity kills desire. Now imagine this instead. She pulls away and you stay calm. You don't chase. You don't lash out. You don't try to force closeness. You continue your life, your purpose, your rhythm. That calmness radiates strength. It says, I care, but I don't crumble. And that alone reignites her desire, because you've shown that her emotions don't control your frame. You lead with presence, not pressure. She'll test your boundaries too, questioning your goals, teasing your standards, or pushing against your values just to see if you'll bend. Most men fold, thinking it proves love. But when you stand firm, not arrogantly, but with quiet conviction, you communicate leadership. That's what she can trust. A man who knows his values and won't compromise them for approval becomes rare, and that rarity is irresistible. Even in small moments, choosing where to eat, making plans, handling minor conflicts, she's subconsciously observing how you lead. Fail to lead, and she feels unsafe. Led too forcefully, and she feels controlled. But lead with calm confidence, decisive yet kind, and she feels both secure and excited. That's when her guard melts and she allows herself to fall. Every test she gives you is not an obstacle, but an invitation, a chance to show her that you are both the foundation she can trust and the fire she can't resist. Fail those tests and her interest fades. Pass them and her love grows, often without her even realizing why. Here's the truth most men overlook. Before a woman ever admits she's falling in love, her body and her behavior begin revealing it. These signs are subtle, but they're there. You'll notice it in her focus, her tone, the softness in her gaze when you speak. A woman in love doesn't just give you time, she gives you attention. She listens differently. She orients her energy around you without forcing it. That's the signal every man should learn to recognize, the unspoken moment when attraction transforms into attachment. She starts remembering the smallest details about you: the way you take your coffee, that childhood story you told once, the little habits you didn't think anyone noticed. That's not casual interest. That's her mind anchoring itself to you. Another signal is her growing comfort with vulnerability. When a woman begins to trust you, she starts revealing the parts of herself she usually hides: her fears, her insecurities, her private dreams. Women don't open up like this to every man. If she begins letting down her walls, it means she feels the kind of safety that sparks love. But be careful. If you dismiss or minimize her vulnerability, you break that fragile bond instantly. Then come the physical tells. A woman in love mirrors your movements without realizing it, crossing her arms when you do, leaning in when you lean closer. Her eyes linger a little longer. Her smile appears at moments that don't call for it, and she finds small excuses for touch, brushing past you, fixing something on your shirt, playfully hitting your arm. These aren't coincidences, they're instinctive expressions of attachment. But perhaps the strongest signal of all is investment. A woman falling in love begins to prioritize you in her world. She rearranges her schedule, checks in more often, seeks your opinion before making decisions, and slowly weaves you into the fabric of her daily life. That's not convenience. That's commitment forming in silence. The tragedy is, most men miss these signals because they're waiting for her to say it. They crave verbal confirmation, I love you, while she's already showing it. And when their blindness meets her silence, doubt begins to grow. If you recognize her efforts and meet them with steady confidence, her love deepens. But if you ignore or question them, she starts to wonder if she chose the right man. Here's where most men sabotage love without realizing it. A woman begins to fall, her emotions are awakening, her signals are clear, but instead of nurturing that fragile fire, men smother it. They suffocate it with insecurity, overinvestment, or emotional chaos. And then they ask, what happened? She was into me, and now she's distant. Let's break down why that happens. The first mistake is overvalidation. When a woman shows interest, many men go overboard, constant texting, endless compliments, nonstop attention. At first, it feels flattering to her, but soon it flips. Because when you give too much too soon, she senses that you don't value yourself. You're offering devotion she hasn't earned. And subconsciously, she starts questioning why you're so quick to give it. What's wrong with a man who has no filter for his affection? It doesn't make her trust you more, it makes her trust you less. The second mistake is neediness disguised as care. You think you're being attentive, wanting to see her constantly, checking if she's okay every hour, trying to be her everything. But to her, it feels like pressure. It tells her you have no life outside of her, and a man without his own life can't add value to hers. Women don't fall for men who orbit around them. They fall for men who have a world of their own and invite her in. The third mistake is emotional volatility. Maybe she tests you. Maybe she pulls away. And instead of holding your frame, you react anger, panic, guilt trips, or sulking. That destroys both security and desire at once. Because if she can shake your emotions that easily, you're not the man she thought you were. Love can't survive in the presence of instability. And perhaps the most subtle mistake, losing mystery. When you reveal every thought, every feeling, every plan, you leave nothing for her to discover. Love thrives on curiosity. When you remove that curiosity, the spark fades. She knows you, she has you, and suddenly, the thrill is gone. Most men don't realize love doesn't die in dramatic moments. It dies quietly through small acts of overexposure, overgiving, and overreaction. And once it dies, she may stay physically, but her heart quietly leaves. Now we reach the truth that separates fleeting attraction from lasting devotion. A woman may fall in love because of security and desire, but she stays in love because you continue to embody both. Love isn't a prize you win once. It's a fire that must be fed, not with grand gestures or endless words, but with consistent presence, strength, and growth. Most men lose their relationships not because their woman stopped loving them, but because they stopped being the man she fell for. Over time, he became comfortable, complacent, predictable. He stopped leading, stopped challenging her, stopped inspiring her. The polarity shifted, and she started asking herself, Where did that man go? That's how love fades, not because she wanted it to, but because he let it. To stay in a woman's heart, you must guard your frame. Never stop growing. Never stop pursuing your purpose. Never stop being unpredictable enough to excite her, yet stable enough to make her trust you completely. She needs a man who protects her world, but also disrupts it just enough to keep it alive with energy and passion. That's the balance that keeps her love vibrant through years and decades. Think about the couples who stay in love after 30 years. It's not luck. It's not perfect compatibility. It's a man who never lost his edge, who kept being a challenge, who made her feel safe yet alive. He didn't let comfort make him soft. He made her feel secure, but also made her feel she could lose him if she stopped valuing him. That paradox of being hers, yet never fully conquered, is what keeps love eternal. So, if you want to be unforgettable, if you want to be the man she never gets over, remember this. She falls in love for two reasons: security and desire. But she stays in love for only one because you keep being the man who embodies both. That's the truth most men never hear. Now ask yourself, in your last relationship, did she fall for your security or your desire? Or did she leave because you stopped being both? Reflect on that. And if this opened your eyes, don't forget to subscribe to the Reflective Psyche for more insights like this, because understanding her mind is the first step to mastering your own.